Hi, my name is Zoe Spiliotis, and I'm a professor at El Paso Community College. Today, we're going to talk about creating a digital portfolio. So, you've decided to go to art school, but before you can, you've got to take an important first step in the admissions process, creating your portfolio. A portfolio is a collection of your work which shows how your skills and ideas have developed over a period of time. It demonstrates your creativity, personality, abilities, commitment, and helps the schools evaluate your potential. It's critical that your portfolio shows off work that best represents your technical skills and perspective. Every school has its own set of requirements for a portfolio. Take a close look at what each school you apply for is requesting from its applicants. How many pieces, what format, when it's due, etc. And make sure your portfolio submission meets every requirement. Today, we're going to focus on options for creating a digital portfolio, one that you can share easily with people and use for the upcoming Sun City Portfolio Day review. I'll give you different options to create your own, tips on what you should include, and how you should organize it. So, what should you include in your portfolio? Well, first, don't get hung up on quantity. As long as you generally meet the minimum requirements mentioned in the school's application, you shouldn't be overly concerned about how many pieces are in your portfolio. More pieces could help, but not at the expense of your standards of quality. For Sun City Portfolio Day, we recommend you have around 5 pieces to show and discuss in your portfolio. Within your pieces, show a diverse range of skill and visual experiences. Demonstrate that you're able to use and experiment with a range of styles, mediums, techniques, and that you can control and apply them in a meaningful, intentional, skillful way. It's important that you show the full breadth of your ability as an artist, as well as your flexibility in materials and an interest in learning new things. Your portfolio should highlight a few different styles you have worked with, even if they're in the same medium. So, for example, if you're applying to a photography program, include a variety, some landscape photographs, portraits, or action shots with different lenses. Choose a range of mediums that highlight your artistic strengths, but don't include weaker work, just for the sake of covering a greater range of mediums. Choose artistic styles that showcase your skill, interests, and strengths, and don't try to guess what the university or art school would prefer. Choose the things that align with your strengths. And unless otherwise specified, an application portfolio can include almost any type of artwork. So this doesn't mean you should try to include every different technique or art form. That's going to create a scattered or incohesive portfolio. But instead, focus on areas that interest you and highlight your strengths. Include observational pieces. An observational drawing is a realistic representation of an object or scene that has been viewed directly in real life, as opposed to something that has been imagined or drawn from a photograph. Include 2 or 3 examples, even if they were assignments. Observational pieces demonstrate a level of mastery of art fundamentals. And most art and design courses require applicants to have a certain level of observational drawing skill. This is essential not just for fine art specialties, but for many others, such as architecture and fashion design, and other degrees that don't seem to obviously focus upon drawing. You want to show that you're able to competently record shape, proportion, tone, perspective, surface qualities, details, space, and form. So show drawings that were drawn in a personal and sensitive way rather than in a mechanical way. You want to communicate a strong sense of realism, but in a way that also captures the essence of the subject. Your portfolio should include pieces that art schools won't see from every other applicant. This means no fan art, no anime, nothing copied from another artist's work. Even things like still lives should be able to tell a story or have a concept. Just make sure that the subject matter has some meaning and relevance to you. It's important to remember that technical ability or artistic skill must be accompanied by creativity. original ideas, and some form of visual curiosity. Select works for your portfolio that show your abilities as well as your unique perspective of the world around you. To achieve this within your portfolio, it may help to make art about something that visually communicates ideas rather than just depicting a scene. Demonstrate your intellectual potential. Also, ensure that work from classroom projects is thorough, it's personalized and self-motivated, that it goes the extra mile. Also, try to include some personal, independent, or self-directed work that's completed outside of the classroom. This can help give an indication of your current involvement and interest in the arts. And then be yourself. Never submit art that's an imitation of someone else's. Aim for artwork that is new and fresh and about something that matters to you. Your portfolio should be individual to you. So let it reflect your strengths, interests, and experiences and represent who you really are. So now that you've picked out your pieces to include in your portfolio, it's time to figure out how to organize them. The way you arrange the different pieces reflects on your presentation skills and thought process. Try to focus on what story you're trying to tell about your work, your development, your interest, yourself. A good layout and order helps to communicate an eye for composition, a professional approach. It shows your commitment and desire to attend a university or college. It leaves a positive and memorable impression for the admission counselors to better understand your work. Poorly cared for work that is just thrown together in a sloppy or thoughtless layout or is overly decorative, it detracts from the quality of your artwork. So make sure your works are presented in good shape, that they're mounted evenly, clearly labeled. Even if you're submitting your portfolio digitally, be sure it looks good on various displays and use high quality edited photos. Make sure to give clear and concise labels. Most schools want some basic information about your selections in the portfolio. So include a title, date, dimensions, and description of the medium. Label artwork in a way that doesn't detract from the art. Always follow guidelines, but if labeling guidelines aren't given, then label the work in the corner with the title, mediums, dimension, date, and additional information as required. Avoid decorative fonts and excessively large headings. Make sure to proof for spelling errors and inaccuracies, and have someone else do this for you too. Make sure all of your links to digital moving images also work. And then be ready to discuss each piece. Don't put anything in your portfolio that you can't talk about, because whether it's during an interview, a portfolio presentation, or even an email, you may have to answer questions or explain parts of your work. You don't need to memorize the details of each selection, but it wouldn't hurt to revisit older works and remember their creation process. So now that you have your art selections, you've arranged them, you have all the information gathered on them, you need to put the portfolio together. There are many options to create an easily shareable digital portfolio depending on your individual needs and skill level. Who knows, you may even choose to recreate your portfolio in both of the methods I'm about to discuss. The first type we're going to look at is called a PDF portfolio. They are the happy middle between an online portfolio and a print portfolio. In fact, they can most closely visually resemble a traditional print portfolio. And it's easy to make a PDF portfolio by converting a PowerPoint or Google Slide or Keynote file into a PDF. So let's look at how to set one up in Google Slides and export to a PDF. It's very easy to set up a simple portfolio by clicking the blank presentation and selecting a black or white background. Add as many slides as you have images and then change their layout to the caption option. After that, you can edit your caption text on each slide to reflect the title, medium, date, dimension for each image, and then add your artwork images. You may also want to explore the template gallery to see if there are any templates that might work for your portfolio. There are a couple of templates I think could work, and those are the photo album and the lookbook template. Just remember, if you use templates, to keep the design simple with a solid white or black background, and stay away from anything with too many decorative elements or extra complicated layouts or overly fancy fonts. The focus should be on your work, not anything else. As you can see in the photo album, there are some pages that won't fit what we want, and only a few we'll probably use. So go ahead and erase the ones you don't want. You can also simplify the fonts or backgrounds for the template in the right tool option bar area. So I'm going to select one of those options and then get rid of the pages I don't think will work in my portfolio. At that point, then I can start the process to add my slides, add the images to the slides, and the label information on each. Now, depending on the requirements for your portfolio and its intended use, whether it's a school application versus portfolio review or just for personal marketing, it may be acceptable to include a bio, photo, or an artist statement, or even brief explanations of each piece. So you can go through the different layout options for the slides that might work best if you want to include text. Just remember that the art should speak for itself, so any extra writing should offer something new to the reviewer's understanding or highlight important aspects. If it doesn't, you should leave it out. Now, when you finish your portfolio and are ready to make the PDF, just go to File, Download, and select the PDF option. Why convert or save your file as a PDF? Well, this is going to lock in your formatting, your images, and your fonts. So it's going to ensure that your design looks complete with nothing missing and exactly the same to anyone who views it. A PDF will also make your file size smaller, so you can keep a PDF of your best work on your tablet or phone or on cloud services and quickly send through the email or show people when they ask. You may also consider creating a website portfolio. There are many free, simple drag and drop website options out there to create portfolio pages. If you're interested in this option, then check out Google Sites or Wix. For this video, I'm going to show you around Google Sites, but know that Wix works basically the same way. On Google Sites, you'll need to choose a template to work with. I've looked around and I think Photo Portfolio or the Portfolio template is probably the best options, but you do you. So when we open the Photo Portfolio, we can see that we can edit the name in the upper left, and underneath you'll see images and a link to a category page. We can start customizing these by adding new pages under the page links in the right toolbar. Right now we just have one page called Project Page, and it corresponds to our portrait category. Let's change the name to Drawings. So just double click it and type. When that's finished, let's create another category page called Paintings. To do this, select the three dots next to the Drawings page and click Duplicate Page and name it Paintings. Now we have two categories that we will feature in our portfolio. You can add as many as you'd like or just have one image be its own image. In that case, maybe the page name would be the artwork's title. I'll add one just to show you how that might work. Let's go back to the home page and then we can change the image in the first box to a drawing. Just click on the image and then click the three dots to select Replace Image, Select Image, and then find your drawing. Once placed, then double click to adjust the portion of the image you want to show. Then you can click the text and change the category to Drawings. Then select it and link it to the Drawings page. We can then go to the drawing page and start to add our portfolio drawings to feature. We can change the title to Drawings, and then if you'd like, you can choose to add some text or even a brief explanation of your approach to drawing. Just remember the art should speak for itself, so extra writing should offer something new, or if it doesn't, you should just leave it out. Then you can add your images the same way we did on the home page. Remember to label each image underneath with the title, mediums, date, dimensions. You may decide to feature multiple pieces on a page like Drawings, or you may choose to organize the portfolio with one page for every image. like our example page, When Breath Becomes Air. Here I'm going to change the page title to be my artwork title, and the text will be specifically about this piece. Then don't forget your label information below it. You may even decide to add a photo and an artist statement about your work, if it's appropriate. Then when you've finalized all your website pages, images, and information, just click Publish and make sure your name is inputted into the link. This will be the link you share with others, so make sure it says anyone can view and then click Publish. I hope this tutorial gave you some good ideas to consider when selecting your artwork and also some possibilities for creating your own digital portfolio.